welcome to San Antonio's Influence Magazine show, the premier talk show where we introduce you to influential individuals doing significant work in the city of San Antonio and surrounding areas. Celebrate the spirit of business, leadership, and innovation. If this is your first time joining us and you'd like more information, you could find us at influencesa.com. That's INFLUENCESA.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and for this particular episode of the show, all future and past episodes of the show, pull up your YouTube search bar, toss in San Antonio's Influence Magazine show. That word is critical. Get that word in there. When you get there, please subscribe, give us a like or a thumbs up, and hit that bell so that you don't miss any future episodes of the show. I'm your host, CedricDFisher, 40-year career journalist and publisher of Influence Magazine brand. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to today's guest. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back to San Antonio's Influence Magazine show. Before we introduce you to our guest today, let me share a little bit about his background. Throughout Richard Pretlow's entire professional career, he's outlined and executed strategies that have set his organizations up for sustainable growth and success. He understands the delicate yet dynamic balance necessary to meet customers' needs, global stakeholder concerns, and internal process efficiencies. Through successful project and program management, Richard's been able to develop and execute strategies that have increased revenue, contributed to double-digit EBIT, that's earnings before income tax, if you didn't know, growth, improved organization effectiveness that has resulted in significant cost reductions, and Richard consistently delivered on the organization's annual plan while staying focused and committed to the organization's mission. As a leader of diverse teams, Richard Pretlow believes that the best approach to team development is to create an environment that encourages continuous learning and personal accountability. In the ever-changing business environment that we operate in, it's important to cultivate teams that understand their greater purpose within the scope of the organization's mission, vision, and strategic goals. As an ASQ certified manager of quality / organizational excellence and a certified Lean Six Sigma black belt, Richard has a thorough knowledge of quality management, process improvement, strategic planning, project management, supply chain management, customer relationship management, training, and development. That's a lot of horsepower. Please help me introduce Mr. Richard Pretlow to the show. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I shared with the viewers here a lot about your background. I got a lot of horsepower. But just kind of give us a little bit about your background. Tell us where you're from and that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. Went to college at Hampton University. I thought I wanted to be an architect. So went through Hampton University's master's program. Got about to the end of the program and realized that I didn't want to be an architect anymore, but didn't really know what I wanted to do. Started working at Busch Gardens in Leesburg, Virginia, which is maybe about 20 minutes away from where I went to college, and realized that it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of opportunity there. Probably one of the funnest jobs I've ever worked. And I was like, man, I could really make this a career. And that's kind of how I got started.
And Busch Gardens is a theme park, is what
Busch Gardens is a theme park, yes. It's part of SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment.
Okay, for those of you who are from the East Coast, that's one of those big East Coast parks.
And,
so Hampton University, talk to us a little bit about that experience at Hampton.
Well, Hampton University was a terrific experience. For those who don't know, it's a historical Black college and university. and just one of those colleges I always wanted to go to. I think it's really important for African Americans to get taught at African American schools by African American professors, so that we can learn how to conduct ourselves in society, because things are a little different, for people that look like us. So it was really important for me to kind of get that, get started there, and that really prepared me for a lot of the things that I dealt with professionally and personally. Quite frankly, just learning from such a dynamic and diverse set of college professors.
It is great school, great institution. I know a lot of good friends who are alums from NAM.
Oh yeah, so is my home by the sea.
Absolutely. So what's a day in the life like for Richard Pretlow? Kind of tell us about your current situation.
A day in the life. How about that? So I've been on the job now for about 9 weeks. But the job for me is it's all about the experience. It's about the guest experience. It's about the team member experience. And when folks come to the park, we want them to think about fun, and that's what we're all about. So my job is ensuring that everybody has fun, both our team members and our guests. So my day really starts with checking emails, making sure there's nothing I'm backed up on, making sure I respond to everybody who needs a response, making high-level decisions. But then I also like to be out in the park, like interacting with the guests, interacting with the team, because really the team is closer to the guest experience than I am. So if there's something that's going on, I like to be engaged with them so I can also know what's going on, so we can make impactful changes. So my job is really about being out there with the people, making decisions that move the business forward, and making decisions that ensure that we're delivering a great guest experience and also a fun team member experience.
So most of the audience is familiar with Morgan's Wonderland, the Hartman family, certainly Ward.
Yeah.
And but what attracted you to the opportunity, and how did you find your way to the top there?
When I first saw the opportunity posted, I had heard of Morgan's Wonderland through different various trade organizations within the theme park industry. So I always knew what it was, but didn't really know or understand the impact. So upon doing some research and realizing, like, wow, this is really a large and impactful organization with the MAC, Morgan's Wonderland Camp, and some of the other projects that they're doing and they have coming up. I was like, man, this is not only a really big executive leadership opportunity, but it's also an opportunity to probably make more of an impact that I could at another park. I mean, I've been an executive leader at both Six Flags and SeaWorld before, so I kind of understand what goes into that. But here you really, Morgan's Wonderland, you really get to change lives, because when you think about it, at a traditional theme park, the theme park industry is moving towards being more inclusive, but a lot of folks are challenged to do it well. But Morgan's Wonderland is one of those areas that's really doing it well, where everyone can play together. And right now, if you go to some other parks, you can't do that. So this is really an opportunity where I can make an impact, where I can bring my expertise from much larger theme parks and truly drive some change and turn Morgan's Wonderland, not that it isn't already, but really create it into that world-class destination. That's really what I see that park being, as a destination, not just we're there for the day and then we go home, but it's a destination that people talk about.
So a place you must visit when you come to San Antonio.
Must visit when you come to San Antonio.
Like Riverwalk.
Yes.
And it's a nonprofit organization, right?
It is a nonprofit organization.
Just want to make sure I had it right. Okay. So kind of describe what the president does for a theme park nonprofit, because it could be different if you've got a nonprofit for senior citizens or something else. For a theme park, how's that look?
The big difference between for-profit and not-for-profit, if we're speaking specifically about theme parks, is versus some of the other roles I've been in, I don't have any shareholders that I have to appease. I don't have to hit a set EBITDA target so that we can pay out dividends to shareholders. So every dollar of profit we make is not going to somebody who's watching a ticker on Wall Street. It's going directly towards impactful programs and services in the park. Every dollar we make, we get to reinvest into accessibility, ultra accessibility, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to teach accessibility in the community to other theme park leaders as well. So that's really the big difference there. We don't have any shareholders that we need to appease. There's nobody telling me you've got to hit this EBITDA target, which is kind of turning into a thing in the theme park business right now. There's a lot of Wall Street influence. Cut this, cut that, do this, do that, so that we can hit an EBITDA target. And honestly, it's really impacting the guest experience. And that's not something that we have to do here. We always have to be mindful of the business because we are a business, but we're not trying to drive a bottom line so that we can pay somebody a set dividend. That makes sense.
Sure. So you came to into an organization that's already successful, right? And you've had an opportunity. How long have you been in the new?
About 9 weeks now.
9 weeks. Okay. Freshman year.
Yeah.
So you've had an opportunity to kind of take an overview of systems and processes and even personnel and everything else. What would be like your top 3 priorities right now?
Just top 3 priorities right now is number 1, making sure that guest experience is always top priority. So I want to make sure that we continue to do that and we do it better than anybody else. Like, we don't just want to be somewhere where you come and get a little rise, but where you get a little rise and you really have fun and really create a lot of memories with your family. That's really what it's about. Making sure that we are creating a safe environment for both our guests and our team members. Safety now in 2023 is more critical than it ever has been. And when you go somewhere with your family, you want to know that that organization is taking the appropriate steps so that when you're there, you can focus on having fun rather than is there some sort of threat, somebody in the park with a weapon, a knife, a gun, something like that. So ensuring that we're delivering that experience so that you don't have to focus on, are you in danger or something going to happen? You can focus on having fun with your family. And then the third thing I would say is really pushing Morgan's Wonderland to be an employer of choice in San Antonio. We do a great job hiring a lot of folks with special needs. But one of the things where I think we're kind of struggling a little bit, if I'm being candid, is really delivering a great team member experience. So some of the things that we're already doing, we increased pay wages. So we increased pay wages for all our seasonal frontline staff. We're adding a team member break area we already have a team member break area, but we're adding a micro market where team members can go and purchase snacks and some ready to go meals. And all they have to do is scan an app, use an app on their smartphone and use one of the mobile kiosks to purchase their food there. I've told the team we need to make sure that everybody's getting breaks when they need to have breaks. We're giving folks water. On those super hot days, we used to charge team members for uniforms. We're not doing that anymore. Like, if you're coming to work, like, we're going to give you the uniform. So ensuring that we are truly the employer of choice, and it's not just folks coming to us saying, well, I want to work here because I can't get a job anywhere else. They want to work here because we're truly the best place. We're truly the best place to work in San Antonio.
So there's a pitch for anyone looking for an opportunity at a theme park. We're having a conversation with Richard Pretlow, president of Morgan's Wonderland. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the San Antonio's Influence Magazine show. I'm Cedric Fisher. Today we're here with president of Morgan's Wonderland, new president of Morgan's Wonderland, Mr. Richard Pretlow. Welcome back to the show, Richard. So you've got a very, very distinguished background in theme parks and spent a lot of good years at Six Flags. Tell us a little bit about that experience and what are you transferring or bringing over to your new employer?
The experience with both SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment and Six Flags was really phenomenal. I got my start with SeaWorld Parks back when they were Busch Entertainment, and that's really where I got my passion and fire for the theme park industry. And when I joined Six Flags several years later, they really invested in my development and pushed me to be the executive leader that I am today. So I'm grateful to both of those organizations for all the things that they've done. But what I'm bringing to Morgan's Wonderland from those organizations, is a little bit more of some of the discipline that you would see in the theme park industry when it comes to best practices around safety, ride operation, those types of things. What I've heard from a number of folks who have come to the park as guests is that they love the park, but the load times are really slow. And that's in part because our rides are ultra accessible. And so it takes a little bit longer to load our friends who are using wheelchairs. But we certainly have opportunities to improve with how we load, to do it safer, to do it faster. So that's really what I'm looking to bring. And that just is going to help us improve the guest experience right there. If you know that you can get on a ride and then get off of it and get over to the next ride without having to wait a long time, especially in San Antonio heat, that right there just means a ton.
No question. Yeah, many of us have gone and visited the Disney theme parks, and we know those long lines and the heat. So we try and avoid those at all.
Oh, yeah.
Six Flags was a for-profit organization, right? Or
Yes, Six and SeaWorld are for-profit. They're both traded on the New York Stock Exchange.
okay. Is that a big change going from for-profit to non-profit, or what kind of attracted you to a non-profit opportunity?
It's honestly, it's really not that much of a change. As I told you prior, the biggest difference between for-profit and not-for-profit is that I don't have any shareholders I have to appease. When you think about Morgan's and when you think about SeaWorld and you think about Six Flags, the zoo, any of those places, they're all about fun. That's what they're selling. Now, everybody does it different. SeaWorld does it with the whales. Six Flags does it with the tallest, biggest, baddest, fastest coasters in the world. The zoo does it with animals. We do it with inclusion. That's what we're all about. So we're all in the business of fun. It's just, how are we trying to do that? Our fun is ultra accessibility. One of our friends who has special needs can play and do the same thing as one of our friends who is fully able-bodied.
Did you innovate any type of things at Six Flags that you're going to be bringing over to Wonderland, even a program or system or that you can speak about?
We are looking at some different type of entry systems. We're looking at some systems where we can get our guests through the gates a little bit faster and where we can do it in a manner that's safe. We're looking at a weapons detection technology right now. Again, we want to ensure that everybody who comes to the park feels safe when they're at the park. So we're looking at a touchless weapons detection system right now. I don't want to put the name of it out there. I don't want to make a plug for them. We're still working on it. But you can look forward to some things like that. We're also going to look to make some improvements in our food and beverage programs and also our retail program. Again, just looking to aim towards creating that world-class destination. There really is no reason why we can't be in the same league as Disney, quite frankly. Now, I'm not talking about in terms of size. We're never going to be the size of deciding Disney, but in terms of the name Morgan's Wonderland, the impact of Morgan's Wonderland, and how people associate us with fun and with entertainment, we certainly have the opportunity to be just as impactful as Disney.
Very good. So I kind of assess Morgan's Wonderland as being more of a purpose-driven organization than profit-driven, right? They're a nonprofit. And given your background and experience there now in 9 weeks, what's kind of your motivation for really helping to include people with special needs, maybe disenfranchised folks?
Well, I'll be honest, in my prior roles, accessibility, ultra accessibility has not truly been a concern because it just wasn't something we had to think about. My time at Six Flags, it was all about, again, let's build the biggest, the tallest, the fastest, record-setting coaster in the world. And if everybody can't get on it, then, oh well. So there's been a lot of learning for me coming in because we've been talking with some ride vendors about what are some different rides that we can put into the park. And I'm having to change the way that I think about how we put rides into the park knowing that we need to be able to accommodate our friends with special needs. So we have to think about lighting and strobe lights and those type of things. We have to think about sound. I never thought about, for example, we're talking with the ride manufacturer right now, and I never thought about the sound that the hydraulic motors make when they make certain rides go back and forth and up and down. It's not something I ever had to think about, but now I am thinking about that, and I'm thinking about how that impacts our guests who might be sensitive to sounds and those types of things. So it's been I won't say dynamic, but it's been a shift in my thinking, but a very pleasant shift, and it's one where Morgan's really has the opportunity to be a leader in the entertainment space with teaching folks how to create rides and experiences that are more accessible. If you think about, I think about my time with Six Flags water parks, even SeaWorld water parks. Not a lot of people can get into the lazy river, even though everybody loves lazy rivers. Because if you go to any traditional theme park, the lazy river has stairs, and most of our friends who have special needs, can't really negotiate with those stairs. So we need a zero depth entry. But at a traditional park, that's not something I thought about. It's put a set of stairs and keep on going. So it's causing me to shift my thinking. But again, it's a pleasant shift. It's not one that's stressing me out, if you will.
Is this your first experience with nonprofit leadership?
Yes, it is.
Very first. So, man, what would you, just based on what you've learned thus far, what do you think are 3 key attributes of an effective nonprofit leader?
An effective nonprofit leader being
3 key attributes. I mean, one may be that they're very purpose-driven for the mission. And
when I think about leadership, I think about the type of leadership that I needed when I was coming up. And that type of leader is the leader that I try to be for my team. And so regardless of for-profit, not-for-profit, I try to be authentic with everybody, because I've dealt with leaders who have been very authentic. I've dealt with leaders who have not been authentic, and you can usually see right through that. So it's my goal to be authentic with everybody and to build trust with everyone, because trust is one of those things that is difficult to build, but it's very easy to destroy. So the authenticity and the trust, transparency, but also I believe in this business, in the entertainment business, you have to be visible. I used to tell my team at Six, I told my team at SeaWorld, like, we all have offices. We got great offices, but we can't run our business from behind our desk. There's certain things that we have to do. There are spreadsheets and things we have to do to make sure the business is operating the way we need it to operate. But our job is out there in the park. Our job is interacting with the guest. Our job is interacting with the team. I have no problem picking up trash or cleaning the bathroom, operating a ride. I've done all those things, and it's not something I want to do every day. But it's important that the team sees you out there doing those things, and they know that you're being a visible leader. That is what was most impactful for me when I was at Busch. When I first started at Busch as a seasonal leader, you saw the directors and the vice presidents and the park president in the park all the time. I mean, they knew your name, even if you weren't wearing a name tag. And that was one of the things that made me say, man, I want to be like those guys.
Yeah. Leadership by example.
Leadership by example, yes.
So getting out there,
yes,
and doing it.
Yeah.
So great. That's fantastic. So we know a lot about you now as a professional, as a corporate business leader, but you're a real person too. Talk to us a little bit about extracurricular activities.
Extracurricular activities. I'd say the activity I engage in the most is bowling. I'm an avid bowler. So my dad got me started bowling when I was 5 years old, and I've been doing it ever since. I've been on professional leagues. I've coached youth bowling leagues. I'm not as involved as I used to be in the leagues. I still do it for fun. But yeah, bowling, I love it.
Love bowling. Okay. And you're pretty good at it?
I would say I'm pretty good. If I was a challenge, man.
Could dial you up one day, but trust me. All right. So on this show, we have the privilege of meeting a lot of leaders. And one thing we have kind of concluded that they all have in common is they're all readers. Leaders are readers. They typically have a go-to book. Maybe they only pick it up once a year or they're currently reading it, but that book is found in their nightstand, Richard. What book's on your nightstand?
Not a book, but I am a fan of the Harvard Business Review. The articles that are in there are just so impactful, and you learn so much. And even articles from 10 years ago are still relevant today. It's just a fantastic publication. So I try to read at least one every week. It's a little challenging sometimes. You get home and you're tired and your head starts nodding. But I would say the Harvard Business Review has to be probably one of my most favorite and frequently read.
Very historic publication too.
Yes.
The great Barack Obama once was a publisher, I think, or something like that during this.
Or something like that. I think so, yeah.
Something like that during his days at Harvard.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a professional and obviously as an African American, do you feel any type of kind of an obligation to represent the race, or is that something you even think about when you go to work?
It is something that I think about because when you look across the industry, you really don't see a lot of folks that look like you and I. I think
Certainly not at your level. Right thing to say that.
now there are a lot of African American managers and supervisors. There are a couple of directors, but the park president, senior vice president, and above, you really don't see a lot of us at that level, and that's a bit problematic. So I tried to carry myself in a way that that inspires others, to let other folks know that it's not easy to get here, but it's it's possible.
Yeah. Okay, good. Speaking back about let's go back to your personal life. So what's the one thing that people who know you well don't know about you but should?
Don't know about me, but should. Okay.
It could be anything, that your faith, led by your faith, fitness guru, anything.
Fitness guru. I'm more of a eating guru. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. One thing that folks do not know. I had a strange interest in beekeeping.
Beekeeping.
Yes.
With bees.
And actual bees, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
you have bees at home?
I don't. So I'll tell you how I got into it. During COVID, I was living in Lake George, New York. And New York, that everybody knows, is just locked down and everything. You couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't do anything. So when stuff started to open back up, the park I was working at the time, Six Flags Great Escape, and the park was, because of the COVID restrictions, the park was still shut down at the time. So there wasn't a lot going on. I didn't have a lot to do, and saw a Groupon for a beekeeping class. And I was like, well, you know what? I have nothing to lose, so I might as well do it. And it was at the West Mountain Resort, and they just kind of went through this tutorial of, first, the purpose of the bees, which I didn't even really have a full understanding of, and how they pollinate the environment, and how essentially they're a critical part of nature. Didn't even realize that until then. But it was something where I kind of got to turn my brain off. I didn't really have to think about anything, and just got to do it. It was really a lot of fun. So no, I don't have any bees, but it was really a lot of fun, and I enjoy kind of reading about that stuff and kind of watching the videos, and when you see them go and rescue the bees and things like that. And it was over COVID that I got into it, because it wasn't much else to do, and to do something.
Yeah. So now when you hear about a bee story or anything on TV,
It does. It piques my interest a little bit. I'm like, let me do this. Let me hear a little bit more about this. Because before I was like, bees. Even and even in some of the parks I've been in previously, it was always, you got to get rid of these bees. They're stinging everybody. We got all these bees all over the place. I'm still kind of that way because I don't like folks getting stung by bees. But now I'm like, hey, let's see if we can let's make sure we plant flowers that don't attract the bees, so that we don't go off killing them.
absolutely. What would be your 3 major accomplishments, or what accomplishments would you be most proud of, both personally and professionally?
Professionally, 2021, I became the president of Six Flags America in Maryland. And I won't get into a whole lot of detail, but that park had and has a very challenging history. Park had never hit its EBITDA targets, had never really hit its revenue targets. It had just struggled for many, many years. And coming into that role, I knew what I was getting into. It was also a park that was in between DC and Baltimore, so it attracted a crowd. And it had a bit of a reputation that was not positive. During my time there, I was able to flip that reputation from, ooh, this is an unsafe park, to, oh yeah, this is a safe park we can come to. But in 2021, under my leadership, that park delivered the highest EBITDA that it had delivered since 2003. That's outstanding. And so many folks said, can't do it, can't be done. That part won't happen. And we did it. And it's all about motivating the team, making sure we had the right products out at the right time, making sure our team members were motivated to deliver a great guest experience. And that is so far what I've been most proud, because everybody said it can't be done. And then everybody before me tried and couldn't do it. And no disrespect to them. They were all great leaders, but they were able to get there and make it happen.
So sound like all you need is a good challenge in front of you, and you'll deliver.
A good challenge with the right resources.
The right
Yes.
EBITDA, by the way, is earnings before income tax,
Depreciation, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Yes, those of you who never heard of it. Yeah, outstanding. Okay, final question. Anything you'd like to share with the viewers here? Anything you'd like that we didn't talk about, you just don't want to let people know about you or what to expect, maybe?
No, I mean, Morgan's Wonderland is not just a park for our friends with special needs. It's really for everybody. We are improving our food and beverage experience. We're improving our ticketing experience. We're improving everything about the experience, and we're all about fun. And if you visit the park and you don't have a fun time, there's no need to feel bad about it. Let me know. I am committed to making sure that we're delivering the absolute best guest experience that we can possibly deliver. And we open tomorrow.
We'll open tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a
March 3rd.
It's a great plug. You heard it from the president himself, Mr. Richard Pretlow from Morgan's Wonderland. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time.